Hey, welcome everyone to the Soul Report. Here we go again, talking to some amazing people in our series of the reports. We have with us Karoleen Fober today, who has an amazing book called Open to Divine Intervention. Here on this show, we're bringing you exciting guests, people who are the most thought-provoking, motivational people, spiritual leaders, skilled therapists, international personalities, and world leaders from around the globe. We're here to explore the different ways these remarkable individuals come to assist us, to motivate us, and to let us know what they're doing to contribute to the world. They are unique individuals, and so are their modalities. So, whether you're sitting in a chair taking it easy, or seeking a spark of inspiration, or looking for that deep transformational wisdom, you're in the right place. Let's discover together the souls that are shaping our world. Again, the guest today is Karoleen Fober, who has written this book, Opening to Divine Intervention, and I just love the title. So, welcome to the show today. Tell us a little bit about who you are and how you came to write this amazing book.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to be here today, Dr. Douglas. Yes, I had a divine reading 25 years ago. January 15th of 2000, I was in a group with a divine reader, and she said, "You will write a book and it will be important for the world."
Wow.
And it took my breath away so much that I don't really remember the rest of what she said, but I did write that part down. So, it's, through time, I've been on the spiritual journey my whole life. And so even though I didn't know about writing a book, I had never said I wanted to write a book. I was very connected. Um, and I gave my life to Christ when I was 12. And prayed ever since I was probably able to talk. So, and I wasn't one of these people that let go of their spiritual communication ability. I kept quiet about it, but it was real and it was present in my life, always. And so with the book, I put it on the back burner because you're busy working, doing lots of different things. And I really didn't know what it would be about. But in 2017, I said, well, I still don't know what the book is about, but maybe I can start writing all the divine interventions that have happened to me throughout my entire life. So I thought I had maybe 20. It was 30 in about 20 minutes. And then over a couple of weeks, it turned into 50. I now have over 450. But I've stopped counting. So, um, and I put 83 in the book. Some of them are small, some of them are big, but they're my favorites.
Okay, so when you say divine intervention, I know my audience is kind of curious. What exactly is divine intervention?
For me, a divine intervention is an occurrence or a message that happens where there's no earthly explanation of it. Um, Whether it's seeing something, a vision that maybe no one else can see, but it's a certain direct message, or it's something in the sky in the physical world that you actually see. Um, and I've had many of those. So it's an experience that you can't deny, and it's comes through you in a way that maybe isn't in the physical world.
Kind of a
Um,
supernatural, metaphysical,
yes, absolutely.
spiritual, and the great beyond, I guess, moments. Just to
Yeah.
clarify, that was what I was looking for because, words have different interpretations for different people. And I guess coming from a Christian-based background and a believer in Christ and God Almighty, as I am, and other people in our world, so to speak. Um, those occurrences you're speaking of, I mean, that prophecy that clairvoyant person or that intuitive person gave you, it must have come like a bit of a shock, right? It was like, what? Writing a book? How could that be?
Right. That would, and many of them are surprises. What I've come to find out and just experience is that in even talking to other people, they're always helpful. They're always in your best interest eventually, if you can figure it all out. Um, and it captures your attention. I couldn't let go of it. Um, it caught me. And so it's those kinds of experiences. And when I was in my 20s, how do you explain some of these things? So I called everything, well, I had this divine intervention. That's the phrase I kept using. And then I created 15 different types just to help me kind of separate them out from, one might be a premonition, one might be a dream that you have when you're asleep. Um, so I began to create the types to just kind of explain myself and to talk intelligently about what was happening to me.
Well, makes good sense to me. I mean, people don't know the difference between a dream or a vision or, a
Yeah.
prophetic dream or a revealing dream or whatever. But it sounds to me like you're on the right track with divine intervention because, we all have free will and free choice. I get asked this if we have free will and free choice, then what's destiny? It's
Yes.
fate. And so I kind of say, well, divine intervention doesn't steal your free will.
No,
It kind of
I didn't have to write the book.
That's right. There you go. So give us the audience an example of well, give us an example of what that might intrigue people because there are people who are wrestling with the words. I mean, the Book of Corinthians sets out specifically the
Yes.
spiritual gifts, but
Yes.
they need a little bit of upgrading, updating, modernizing, and it sounds to be like you're on the right track of getting people who might be a little uneasy with that, revealing the great beyond, seeing the invisible, making it visible. And some of your terms of divine intervention, I think, is, well, it's profound. So elaborate a little bit on some of these other terms and help educate our audience.
Yes. And really too, that your beautiful audience, I want to say we all have had divine experiences. Every time I talk to somebody, they actually, when I say divine interventions, they go, "Oh, wait, can I tell you what happened to me, in 1998?"
Ah,
And I go, "Yes, tell me." So I know that everyone is having these experiences. And so I call everything kind of the blanket divine intervention or even miracles. I'm okay with that term as well. Um, as many times they're lessons. Maybe we're really supposed to learn something. So sometimes a divine intervention can actually be more than one. So maybe it's a dream or a premonition, but then I go, wow, that was a real lesson. And maybe it was a pivotal moment in your life that made you go in a totally different direction. So some of my terms, follow that. I believe prayer is a divine intervention because you're praying, at least most of the people I talk to, I'm praying to our creator. And if we're doing a prayer or an ask, isn't that a conversation? So we're expecting answers. This is spiritual communication. We are spiritual beings in this body, what I believe. And so it's our original language. And I get so excited about that. So it's not like learning a new one. It's like bringing back your memories to focus on, oh, yeah, when I was 10, this happened. So many people forget some of these things they've had. So praying, a manifestation. Maybe you prayed for something and it happened, and maybe it took a little while to happen, but it did happen. Um, I spoke about dreams and premonitions. Angels. I mean, an angel came to me when my mom was in the hospital. And they could be actual people that are friends in your world. They can say something to you or just stop by the house and help you out so much. And they didn't know what you were going through. But I had what I believe was a real angel that came down in a human form to help me when my mom was in the hospital. And so that's in the book as well. And many people I talk to, oh, they've experienced some kind of an angelic experience, near-death experiences. My mom had one, and that story's in the book. And many tell me about their loved ones when they're just before they die, they'll have a deathbed vision. And my dad had one of those. And just briefly, I walked into the room and I could tell he was looking at something and he wasn't able to talk before he died, but the look on his face was so angelic. It was almost like he was looking at the angels or whoever was going to, take him home, take him to heaven. Um, and natural phenomenon, I'm amazed how many people have had those kinds of experiences. Many of mine have been in the sky. I saw my own face in the sky. I've seen Jesus coming down, kissing the sky. I've seen angels. Many people have seen things in the sky. Natural healing. I mean, divine alignments. Those happen to so many people. People have written whole books just about divine healing.
Well, have you seen any divine healing, or you said you believe in miracles or have seen miracles? So do I.
Yes.
Can you relate, give an example of that to the audience?
Absolutely. And my husband, he had a colonoscopy and in our local hospital and just, regular routine. And we got a phone call that said, we're sending you up to Mayo Clinic. We live about 2 hours away. And that just shocked us. And so we said, well, wait a minute, maybe this is a fluke. So we had him do the test again, same thing. We got in 2 weeks, but in those 2 weeks, I have been working on doing natural divine alignments, energetic alignments that help people heal anyway. And I said, well, of course, we're going to uh, call in this before we go up there. So we had 2 weeks, and I also have a friend that does this for a living. So we got on the speaker phone, and she did an energetic alignment, and it was an emotional issue. Many times, thought process or emotional issues. So she had Gary, my husband, kind of write a letter of forgiveness for himself. He had forgiven a person, many years ago, but he hadn't forgiven himself for just, being innocent and that he couldn't have prevented something from happening when, you can't control other people. So we did that. And then the other piece of that particular alignment was that every day we would together twice a day thank God, our creator, for this complete healing. And we did that twice a day in the morning and in the evening up until our appointment. If it would have been me, I probably wouldn't have gone to the appointment, but he went through everything they needed to do, very invasive test, week long. And then they'd send you home. We came back and nothing there. Everything was perfect. He was healed. And
Of course. What was the explanation from the medical people?
well, they were really angry. Everybody was super, but this one doctor, oh, she was a pistol. Um, I could see her at the desk. We were just sitting there, and it's a teaching hospital, so there were at least 8 people in the room, and so we were Gary and I were sitting there, and she would be looking at her computer, and then she'd look at us. Then she'd look at her computer, and then she'd look over at us. And finally, she said very loudly, she wasn't pleased. She goes, "What's going on?" Because she had all these tests, earlier from 2 weeks ago. And in their test, nothing was wrong. And she said, and I raised my hand because she was so kind of angry. I thought, I'm going to seek permission on this one. I raised my hand and she said, "Who are you?" I said, "Well, I happen to be Gary's wife." And basically, we did a divine energetic healing a couple weeks ago. And then every day we've done two special Thanksgivings in the morning and the evening, thanking him for complete health. And she looked at me. She just got up and stomped out, taking the scared people. I had a new respect for them, out with her. And so, yes, complete healing.
So then it
And this
was a
was a
matter.
and this was a diagnosis, by the way, that has never, no one has ever lived from it. It's relatively rare, but
Wow.
usually in 5 to 10 years, people die. So this was
So,
a big deal.
so what did you and the family do? You just kind of like very
Oh,
smoothly out the door
yeah.
you go.
On the way home, we just had the best time. And the first thing that I did when we got home, I took the information pamphlets that I had gotten from the doctors and the stuff I'd gotten from the internet that I copied off, and I just ripped it up and I put it away and I said, thank you.
Okay. So the name of your book is,
Opening to Divine Intervention. And there's a subtitle.
would you
It,
happen to have a copy of it available? You could hold
I
up.
do.
Oh, my
It's
goodness.
There it is. What do you know? Opening to Divine Intervention. And then the subtitle is Expand and Strengthen Your Intuitive Abilities and Spiritual Connection.
Is your book, is it getting popular? I mean, is it up for awards and things like that?
Well, yes. And silly me, I didn't write the book to win an award. So it took one of my friends that's also an author, and she just kicked me in the pants. She says, Karoleen, you you submit your book, and because it might help people that don't know you read the book. I said, okay, you have to jump through some hoops. It's won 8 awards, and I mean, I can't, I don't know what to say. It's just amazing. And I just look forward to every day because I never know who is I'm going to meet, or who is going to pick the book up, and then they start emailing me what's happened and how they relate. So there's so many people waking up to their own spiritual communication abilities. It's just beautiful.
Well, congratulations. 8 awards. That's a very good indication that this is going to be a bestseller. Thanks for
Well,
being on the show.
thank you. It's already a double bestseller on Amazon. It jumped out of the hoop about in 3 weeks. So it's on its little way. And thank you for your work and for all the love and care you give to all of us that are helping as well. And so I really appreciate the chance to be on your show.
We're we are very pleased to have you on the show. We wish you much success. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.